dinner somewhere else and not speak to each other, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He actually walked out on me once in around the early 90s because of a certain misunderstanding. Got an apartment in Los Angeles, and for all intents and purposes we weren't that unfriendly, but he was gone. And that's when I started painting again. I guess it was 91. And I was living on Oahu, and I started painting again. And sort of fell back in love with painting. But we got back together again. So that's the only major split that I can think of. But we had huge fights long ago.
About what?
Huge fight. Oh, I don't know. I can't even remember. Probably trivial stuff.
Most.
And that would be, that would be not speaking and stuff like that. But we just don't do that anymore. Because it would seem, first of all, it would seem so stupid to me. I would make myself laugh if I did that now. Instead of saying, what's going on here? Okay, let's agree then not to agree for a while. I don't know, but at least we talk to each other. Yeah. We have very similar taste. On a spiritual level, we're very much in the same place. We've grown kind of at the same speed, and would agree on just about everything in terms of spiritual stuff now. It's amazing how, because he's very practical, he's very smart, and his internal rhythm is very fast. I'm not practical, my internal rhythm is very slow, and I'm actually not that smart. Well, I'm smart in some ways, but that is rather complimentary, because then he can take care of some of the more complicated business aspects of things, and I can, work and bring home some money and things like that.
But it was never a subject that you are the star?
Oh, originally that was my feeling about things. My career was all important. I was a famous person, and I thought that was all very important. He was very tough about it. He says, if you keep this up, I'm out of here. I mean, he even as a young person, I met him, he was 24, I think. He really was able to stand up for himself wonderfully well. But as I say, I have no idea why he stuck with it. I was fairly impossible to live with for the first, 10 years.
Having a partner who is so much younger, are you afraid of getting dependent?
I worry about that a lot.
You do, no?
Yes,
yeah,
I do, from time to time. I worry about that. Yeah, I'm really old. I have a fantasy that if I really start to lose it, I'll just take a handful of pills and say goodbye.
So easy.
That's easy to think about. I don't feel that I'm terribly afraid of death. It's a very big deal, that transition, whatever it is, to nothing or something. I'm very curious about it. I've always been very curious about death. I mean, what is it? Where do you go? Do you go anyplace? What is this experience? I know some very wise people who think it's not the end at all. I actually suspect that it's not the end, but I would prefer that it was the end. That would be my preference. I mean, the absolute end. But I'm interested in it. I'm interested in what goes on.
So you would have the courage before you are in the wheelchair and completely gaga?
I think I would. That's easy to say, but I think I would. Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought of adopting a child?
I couldn't bear it. Martin's great with kids. He's magical with children. Absolutely magical. I remember we were traveling in the Far East. I think it was Burma or someplace. And there was this wonderful temple and a great plaza about it, and lots of people roaming around. And before I knew it, he had about 15 or 18 little children on this platform playing games, and they didn't speak their language and they didn't speak his language, and he had them all doing games and dances and things like that. Well, it's incredible. It's amazing that he was able to, like the Pied Piper, to get these kids all playing. He's wonderful with kids and has thought about having children, but I don't think either of us really could put up with the day-to-day struggle. And it is a struggle, unless you're incredibly lucky. No, I couldn't do it. Absolutely couldn't do it.
What is the best quality of him you adore?
When Martin is happy, he's incredibly playful. And he kind of glows. His happiness is something beautiful to witness. He isn't always happy. But when he is happy, it's an absolute wonder to be around him, and people respond incredibly to him. And he has this very sweet, loving nature, among other things. And that's what I love about him. I would be delighted if he were happier being